Number 1. Sweden, the country where silence is golden. Sweden is a place where people take the concept of personal space to a completely new level. If you visit a Swedish bus stop, don't be surprised to see people waiting 2 to 3 meters apart from each other, even when it's snowing and the biting wind blows at 15 degrees C. This isn't coldness or rudeness, it's simply part of Swedish culture to respect each other's space. Swedes value their privacy so much that they created a unique word for it, lagom, which means not too much, not too little, just right. This philosophy permeates every aspect of Swedish life. When it comes to conversation, Swedes are masters of verbal minimalism. While in many countries silence in a conversation is considered awkward, in Sweden, it's perfectly natural and even appreciated. It's not uncommon to see two Swedish friends sitting together for half an hour in complete silence, drinking coffee, and both feeling perfectly comfortable. There's also another fascinating aspect. Punctuality is treated almost like a religion. If you schedule a meeting at 2 p.m. with a Swede, they will arrive exactly at 2 p.m. sharp. Being late is considered disrespectful. Trains and buses are so punctual that you can literally set your watch by them. If you've been to Sweden, drop a comment and tell us whether this description matches your experience. Number 2. The unusual customs of Sweden. One of the most peculiar Swedish customs happens every Friday. It's the sacred day of Fredagsmys, which literally means Friday coziness. On this day, millions of Swedes drop everything, put on their most comfortable clothes, buy tons of candy and snacks, and settle on the couch to watch TV. About 80% of Swedish families participate in this ritual. Supermarkets even have special sections dedicated to Fredagsmys. What makes this interesting is that Swedes, known for their discipline with healthy eating during the week, completely abandon these principles on Friday. Statistics show that Swedes consume more candy per capita than almost any other European country. Another curious tradition is fika, which is much more than just a coffee break. It's a social institution in Sweden. Companies are legally required to provide employees with fika time, usually twice a day. What makes fika special isn't the coffee itself, but the social bonding that happens during these breaks. Refusing a fika invitation is considered quite rude. Then there's the Swedish obsession with nature, protected by law through allemansrätten, or the right of public access. This ancient law allows anyone to walk, camp, or pick berries on any land in Sweden, even private property, as long as they don't disturb the landowner. Even in winter, at 21 degrees, you'll find Swedes hiking or skiing. They have a saying, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. Number 3. Swedish parenting and childcare. Sweden has one of the most progressive parental leave policies in the world, offering 480 days of paid parental leave per child. What's remarkable is that 90 days are reserved exclusively for each parent, meaning fathers must take at least 3 months off, or the family loses those days. About 90% of Swedish fathers take parental leave, something almost unheard of in many countries. Swedish parents rarely raise their voices at children, and physical punishment has been illegal since 1979, making it the first country to ban spanking. Instead, Swedish parenting emphasizes dialogue and natural consequences. If a child refuses to wear a jacket on a cold day, Swedish parents might let them go outside and feel cold, rather than forcing it. It's common to see Swedish children as young as 6 or 7 walking to school alone, or playing unsupervised in park. This isn't neglect, but considered good parenting to develop independence. Swedish schools provide free breakfast and lunch for all students, regardless of income. The meals are nutritious and designed to ensure children get balanced diet. Daycare is heavily subsidized at about $150 per month maximum, with trained staff and outdoor programs where children spend significant time in nature each week. Number 4. The truth about Swedish weather and season. Sweden experiences extreme variations in daylight throughout the year. In the far north, the sun doesn't set for weeks during summer, a phenomenon called the midnight sun. People work in gardens at 2 a.m. because it's still bright outside. But during winter, these regions experience polar night with only a few hours of twilight daily from November through January. This extreme darkness affects people's mood significantly. Swedes combat this with light therapy lamps found in most homes and workplaces. The government even subsidizes these lamps because seasonal depression is a serious public health issue. To cope with dark winters, Swedes developed appreciation for mysigt, or coziness. Homes are filled with candle, creating warm lighting that makes darkness feel inviting. Sweden is one of the world's largest consumers of candles per capita. Walking through neighborhoods on winter evenings, every window glows with candlelight. This isn't decoration, it's a psychological survival strategy. Summer in Sweden is treated almost like sacred time. The entire country shuts down in July as families disappear to summer cottages, small red wooden houses by lake, often without Wi-Fi or running water. Swedes spend summers swimming in cold lakes, picking berries, and disconnecting from modern life. Interestingly, Swedes practice utekallsning, eating outdoors once temperatures reach above 10 degrees Celsius, which other cultures would consider too cold. But after months of winter, Swedes are desperate for outdoor time and will bundle up just to have coffee outside. Number 5. Swedish work culture and work-life balance. Sweden is famous for having one of the best work-life balances in the world. Swedish law limits the work week to 40 hours, and working overtime is frowned upon. If you're still at the office at 6 p.m., your boss might ask if something is wrong. This isn't laziness, but belief that rested employees are more productive. Many companies offer flexible working hours, and remote work was common long before the pandemic. Swedish offices are notably egalitarian, with flat hierarchy. It's common for junior employees to challenge senior managers' ideas in meetings. CEOs often sit among regular staff, rather than in corner offices. Decision-making is consensus-based, with everyone's opinion valued regardless of position. Another surprising aspect is the generous vacation policy. All employees get at least 25 paid vacation days per year, not including public holidays. Swedes actually use these days. It's considered bad form not to take full vacation. July is when most Swedes take 3 to 4 weeks consecutive vacation, creating a nationwide slowdown. Sick leave works on an honor system. For the first 7 days, you don't need a doctor's note. You simply call in sick. This trust-based system has low abuse rate because Swedish culture values honesty. Professional development is highly valued, with many companies providing training budgets and encouraging employees to learn new skills during work time. Number 6. The Swedish housing market and living costs. Sweden's housing market is notoriously difficult, especially in major cities. In Stockholm, the housing queue system is legendarily frustrating. To rent an apartment officially, you might wait 10 to 20 years, depending on the neighborhood. Young Swedes sign up for the housing queue at 18, hoping that by university graduation they might secure an apartment. Until then, many live with parents or sublet rooms. Buying property is complicated. Most city apartments are bostadsrätt, or cooperative apartment, costing $200,000 to over $1 million in central Stockholm, with monthly fees of $100 to $600. Living costs are high. Groceries cost $70 to $100 weekly per person. Eating out is expensive at $20 to $30 per person for basic meals. Alcohol is particularly costly, sold only through government-controlled Systembolaget stores with limited hours and closed Sunday. A beer at a bar costs $8 to $10. However, Swedish salaries compensate. Average monthly salary after tax is $3,000 to $3,500. Sweden has strong social safety nets. Healthcare costs are capped at $130 yearly, after which all healthcare is free. Prescriptions are capped at $250 yearly. Education is free from preschool through doctoral study. While daily costs are high, major life expenses are covered. In cities, monthly transportation passes cost around $100, and systems are excellent. Most urban Swedes don't own cars because parking is expensive, and biking infrastructure is excellent. The allemansrätten means recreational activities like hiking and camping are essentially free despite high living costs. Number 7. Swedish food culture and tradition. Swedish cuisine is more interesting than just meatball. One divisive food is surströmming, fermented herring considered one of the world's smelliest foods. Opening a can indoors is forbidden. Even Swedes open it outside in water bucket. Despite its reputation, it's beloved in northern Sweden during late August celebration. Eaten on thin bread with potatoes and sour cream. Another tradition is smörgåstårta, or sandwich cake, a savory layer cake made with bread, cream cheese, and fillings like shrimp and salmon, decorated like a dessert cake. To foreigners, a cake made of sandwiches seems bizarre, but to Swedes it's festive tradition. Swedish coffee culture is intense. Swedes drink 3 to 4 cups daily. Among the world's heaviest consumers, coffee is served at every gathering. The famous kanelbulle, or cinnamon bun, has its own celebration day on October 4th, when bakeries offer special variety. Traditional foods include preserved items like gravlax, cured salmon, and pickled herring, necessities from pre-refrigeration day. Midsummer is perhaps the most important food celebration, featuring traditional spread of pickled herring, new potatoes with dill, sour cream, and strawberry, accompanied by snaps, drinks, and traditional song. Christmas centers around julbord, a massive buffet with dozens of dishes from herring and salmon to meatballs, sausages, and traditional sweets. Families spend weeks preparing, and meals last several hours. Modern Swedish cuisine has evolved significantly. Cities now have thriving restaurant scenes with everything from Vietnamese to modern Nordic cuisine, emphasizing local seasonal ingredients. Several Swedish restaurants have earned Michelin stars. Number 8. The Swedish approach to equality and gender. Sweden is consistently ranked as one of the most gender-equal countries, visible in daily life. Swedish society actively eliminates gender stereotypes from early childhood. Preschools use gender-neutral pronouns and encourage all children to play with all toy types, letting children develop interests naturally without societal pressure. This extends into workplaces where gender discrimination is taken extremely serious. Swedish companies actively maintain gender balance in leadership, and the gender pay gap is one of the world's smallest. Parental leave policies encourage fathers to be active parents. Swedish fathers are far more involved in childcare than most countries. It's completely normal seeing fathers at playgrounds during weekday mornings without stigma. Not taking parental leave as a father might seem strange. Swedish feminism is mainstream rather than radical. The vast majority identify as feminine, and gender equality is common sense rather than controversial. Sweden's approach extends beyond gender. LGBTQ+ rights are well protected, with same-sex marriage legal since 2009. Stockholm Pride is one of Europe's largest celebrations, attracting hundreds of thousands. Equality also shapes social interaction. Swedes value modesty and egalitarianism through jantelagen, or the law of jante, essentially saying you shouldn't think you're better than anyone else. Doctors, lawyers, and executives dress and act similarly to workers in modest professions. Bragging about salaries or achievements is seen as vulgar. This can frustrate foreigners from cultures where self-promotion is important, but in Sweden, humility and letting work speak for itself is valued. Number 9. Swedish holidays and celebration. Swedish holidays connect deeply to seasons and ancient tradition. The most important celebration is midsummer in late June, around the summer solstice. For Swedes, midsummer rivals or exceeds Christmas in importance. Cities empty as people head to countryside. Tradition involves decorating a maypole with flowers, dancing around it, singing folk song. People wear flower crown, eat traditional food, and stay up late since the sun barely set. There's tradition that unmarried women should pick 7 flowers and place them under pillows on midsummer night to dream of future spouses. Christmas is celebrated differently than many countries. Main celebration occurs on Christmas Eve rather than Christmas Day. Families gather at 3 p.m. to watch Kalle Anka, Donald Duck Christmas Special, a tradition so strong that nearly half the country watches the same program. This has continued since 1960, despite streaming service. After the program, families have dinner featuring julbord, then open present. Christmas Day is typically quiet for recovering. Swedish Christmas includes Advent traditions and St. Lucia Day on December 13th, when children dressed in white robes with candle crowns sing traditional songs. Easter combines Christian and pagan tradition. Children dress as påskkärringar, or Easter witches, going door-to-door trading drawings for candy. Crayfish parties in August mark summer's end with outdoor parties featuring mountains of boiled crayfish, snaps, and singing. Alla Helgons dag, All Saints' Day, in early November, is when Swedes visit cemeteries to light candles on grave. Swedish cemeteries on this evening are breathtaking, with thousands of flickering candles. Walpurgis Night on April 30th celebrates spring's arrival with huge bonfires and singing, particularly enthusiastic, in University Town. Number 10. Swedish innovation and technology. Sweden is a tech powerhouse producing globally successful companies despite its small 10 million population. Stockholm alone has more billion-dollar tech startups per capita than anywhere except Silicon Valley. This nation gave the world Spotify, Skype, Minecraft, and Candy Crush. The success isn't accidental. Sweden invests heavily in education, particularly STEM field, and created culture encouraging entrepreneurship. Swedish schools teach English early, making it easier for companies to operate globally. The government provides substantial startup support through funding programs and tax incentives. Swedish tech culture emphasizes work-life balance even in demanding startup world. While employees work hard, the extreme overwork culture seen in Silicon Valley is largely absent. Swedish tech companies offer generous vacation, parental leave, and flexible arrangements, even to startup employees. Sweden is also a leader in environmental technology and sustainable innovation, developing renewable energy solutions and circular economy business model. The payment system is rapidly becoming cashless. Many stores no longer accept cash, with virtually all transactions done via mobile apps like Swish, credit cards, or contactless payment. Swish has achieved near universal adoption. People use it for everything from splitting restaurant bills to paying street musicians. Some churches have installed Swish terminals for digital donation. Swedish innovation extends to transportation. Stockholm's public transit system is one of the world's most efficient and technologically advanced. The subway system is famously beautiful, with stations designed as art installations, earning the nickname the world's longest art gallery. Sweden is testing smart city technologies from intelligent traffic management to waste management systems using vacuum tubes to transport trash underground, eliminating garbage trucks on residential streets. Number 11. Swedish education system. The Swedish education system reflects Swedish values of equality, independence, and critical thinking. School is completely free from preschool through university, including doctoral study. This includes tuition, materials, school meals, and transportation. The goal is removing all financial barriers to education. Swedish children start preschool as young as 1 year old, when parental leave ends. These preschools focus on play-based learning, social development, and outdoor activities rather than academic skills. Reading and writing typically doesn't begin until age 7, when children start primary school, significantly later than many countries. The Swedish approach believes pushing academic skills too early can be counterproductive. Primary school continues this philosophy with minimal homework, no grades until around age 13, and strong emphasis on collaborative learning over competition. Classes are small, typically 15 to 25 students, and teachers use first name. The classroom environment is informal, with students working in groups rather than traditional rows. The curriculum emphasizes critical thinking and creativity over memorization. Swedish education includes substantial physical education, outdoor learning, and arts education, reflecting belief that education should develop the whole child. One unique aspect is extensive sex education, beginning in primary school and continuing through secondary school. The curriculum is comprehensive, covering not just biological facts, but also relationships, consent, LGBTQ+ issues, and emotional aspects. This approach is credited with contributing to Sweden's low rates of teenage pregnancy. Secondary school is free and offers both academic and vocational track. Unlike some countries where vocational education is seen as inferior, Swedish vocational programs are highly respected and lead to well-paying careers. University education is free for Swedish and EU citizens. Swedish universities are well regarded internationally. University education is less structured, with students having significant freedom to design courses of study. The academic culture emphasizes independent thinking and questioning rather than accepting professors' words as unquestionable authority. Number 12. Swedish nature and environmental consciousness. Sweden is one of the world's most environmentally conscious countries, deeply embedded in culture. Swedes have profound connection to nature, shaping their value. The allemansrätten reflects this relation, allowing everyone to access nature freely regardless of land ownership. This right comes with responsibility. You can camp overnight and pick berries, but must not disturb or pollute. Swedes learn these principles from childhood. Swedish environmental consciousness shows in practical ways. Recycling is extremely thorough, with households sorting waste into multiple categories: paper, plastic, metal, glass by color, food waste, and general trash. Many apartment buildings have sophisticated recycling rooms with separate bins. It's socially unacceptable to not recycle properly. The country recycles over 99% of household waste, with most non-recyclable waste converted to energy through highly efficient incineration plants. Sweden has actually run out of trash and imports waste from other countries to feed waste-to-energy plants, providing heating and electricity to cities. The pant system for bottles and cans achieves over 85% return rate. When you buy beverages, you pay a deposit that you get back when returning containers to reverse vending machines at grocery stores. Swedish forests are managed sustainably, with strict regulations ensuring harvesting doesn't exceed growth. Sweden is heavily forested with about 70% covered in trees, actually increasing because of careful management. Water in Sweden is exceptionally clean. You can drink tap water anywhere, often better quality than bottled water. Lakes and rivers are so clean, you can swim near major cities. Transportation is increasingly sustainable. The government invested heavily in electric vehicle infrastructure, with charging stations throughout the country. Many cities offer incentives for electric vehicles, including free parking. Swedish homes are among the world's most energy efficient, with strict building codes requiring high insulation and efficient heating. Many homes have heat pumps extracting heat from ground or air, dramatically reducing energy consumption. Number 13. Swedish design and aesthetic. Swedish design has influenced the entire world, from IKEA furniture to H&M fashion to Volvo cars. The Swedish design philosophy emphasizes functionality, simplicity, minimalism, and accessibility. This reflects deeper Swedish values about democracy and equality, the belief that good design should be available to everyone, not just the wealthy. IKEA epitomizes this democratic design philosophy. The company's mission from founding was creating beautiful, functional furniture that ordinary people could afford. The flat-pack design wasn't just about reducing shipping costs, but also empowering customers to assemble their own furniture, making them part of the creative process. This approach influenced global furniture markets and changed how people worldwide think about home furnishing. Swedish fashion brands like H&M, Acne Studio, and COS similarly made fashion more accessible while maintaining design quality. The Swedish fashion aesthetic tends toward minimalism, neutral colors, clean lines, and timeless rather than trendy pieces. This reflects the broader Swedish cultural value of lagom. Swedish homes reflect this design philosophy. The stereotypical Swedish home has white walls, light wood floors, simple furniture, lots of natural light, and minimal clutter. This isn't just trendy, it's practical for dealing with long, dark winters. Light colors and minimal decoration help maximize limited natural light during winter months. The abundance of candles serves both practical and aesthetic purposes, providing warm, cozy lighting that makes darkness feel inviting. The concept of lagom extends to all aspects of Swedish design. Things shouldn't be too flashy or too plain, too expensive or too cheap. This middle-way philosophy creates designs that are comfortable, functional, and lasting rather than extreme or trendy. Swedish design isn't static, but continues evolving. Contemporary Swedish designers are exploring sustainability, using recycled materials, and designing for longevity and repairability rather than planned obsolescence. This reflects growing environmental consciousness combined with traditional Swedish design value. Number 14, cost of living and practical considerations. Living in Sweden involves navigating unique practical and financial considerations. Housing is expensive and difficult to secure, particularly in major cities. Food costs are high. A basic grocery shop costs $70 to $100 per week for one person. Eating out is expensive, with simple lunch costing $12 to $15 and dinner at mid-range restaurants reaching $25 to $40 per person. Alcohol is particularly costly. A beer at a bar costs $8 to $10, and wine at Systembolaget stores starts around $10. This has led to Swedish drinking culture being different from Southern European countries. Swedes tend to drink less frequently, but sometimes more intensely, often pre-drinking at home before going out to reduce costs. However, these high costs must be understood in context. Swedish salaries are generally high, with average full-time workers earning $40,000 to $50,000 yearly after tax. More importantly, many expenses significant in other countries are covered by the welfare system. Healthcare costs are heavily subsidized with yearly cap of about $130, after which all healthcare is free. Prescriptions have similar cap at $250 yearly. Childcare costs are capped at $150 monthly per child, regardless of income, and education through doctoral level is completely free. These subsidies mean that while daily living costs are high, major life expenses are significantly lower than countries like the United States. Taxes in Sweden are high, with most workers paying 30% to 35% in income tax, and high earners paying up to 57% on income above threshold. Value-added tax of 25% is included in all prices. However, Swedes generally accept high taxes because they see direct benefits in healthcare, education, infrastructure, and social security. The social contract is strong. You pay high taxes but receive substantial benefits throughout life. Despite high living costs, Sweden consistently ranks highly in quality of life measurement. The combination of high incomes, comprehensive welfare benefits, excellent public services, safe communities, and beautiful natural surroundings creates a lifestyle that many find very satisfying. Number 15. Important tips for visitors and newcomers. If you're planning to visit or move to Sweden, understanding certain cultural norms and practical realities will make your experience much smoother. First, learn about Swedish personal space and communication norms. Swedes value personal space highly and maintain physical distance in public. Striking up conversations with strangers is uncommon, and what might seem like coldness is actually respect for privacy. Don't take it personally if Swedes on public transportation don't chat with you. Once you break through this initial reserve, Swedes can be warm and welcoming, but building friendships takes time and usually happens through organized activity rather than spontaneous encounter. Punctuality is crucial in Swedish culture. If you're meeting someone at 2 p.m., arrive at 2 p.m., not earlier or later. Being late without calling ahead is considered very disrespectful. When invited to a Swedish home, always remove your shoes at the entrance. Swedes don't wear shoes indoors, and entering with shoes on is considered rude. Understanding fika culture is essential. If colleagues invite you for fika, accept even if you don't want coffee. It's about social bonding more than actual beverages. Refusing fika invitations repeatedly can make you seem antisocial. The Swedish relationship with alcohol is worth understanding. While Swedes do drink, public intoxication is frowned upon, and driving after drinking any amount is taken extremely serious with harsh penalty. If you're moving to Sweden for work or study, start learning Swedish immediately, even if everyone speaks excellent English. While you can survive in major cities using only English, learning Swedish shows respect for culture and significantly improves social integration and employment prospects. Banking and administrative tasks can be frustratingly circular for newcomers. You need a person number for most official business, but getting one requires proper documentation. Be patient and persistent. Understanding the queue system in Swedish service contexts is important. Many banks and government offices use numbered ticket systems where you take a ticket and wait for your number. Swedish customer service differs from some cultures. Service staff are efficient and polite, but not overly friendly. Tipping is not required since service charges are included, and workers are paid fair wages. Be prepared for Swedish directness in communication. Swedes communicate clearly and honestly without excessive politeness. If a Swede says your proposal needs improvement, they mean it literally. Finally, embrace the Swedish connection to nature and outdoor life. Even if you're not naturally outdoorsy, participating in hiking or simply walking in nature will help you understand Swedish culture more deeply. These practical tips will help you navigate Swedish society more effectively, whether visiting for a week or planning to make Sweden your new home. And those are 15 fascinating facts about life in Sweden. Hopefully, these insights have given you a deeper understanding of this remarkable Scandinavian country. If you found this information helpful, please share your thoughts in the comment. Have you visited or lived in Sweden? Which aspect of Swedish life surprised you the most, or would you like to learn more about? Remember that while this guide provides a comprehensive overview, every person's experience in Sweden is unique, and the best way to truly understand Swedish culture is to experience it yourself. The information provided here is for reference purpose, and we encourage you to do additional research and talk to Swedes directly to get even deeper insight into this fascinating country.